Hey, good morning. This is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life, bringing you the daily word of the day for January 11th, 2025. And the word of the day is the 100% step. And before I begin this, I wanted to tell you of a feature that I wasn't aware of and just saw as I prepared this video. When you go online and you look up the reading for the day, right down the bottom where the calendar is, you can choose to hear it audible. You can either pick the audible site that they, I guess, that sponsors them, or you can pick the one on your tablet or your computer or your phone. So if you're visually impaired in any way, look at that. If you're visually impaired in any way, this could help you greatly. Very nice voice. Uh, it's a quick reading. You can go back to it. And I think it's a nice feature that I don't know. I've been looking at them for years and I never noticed it till today when I went to. What I do is I print these down I, and I read from them while I'm on the porch. The book is not one that you can lay flat, so it's very, very difficult to read from it. You got to hold it in your hand with your thumb in between, or else it'll close up. So it's easier to read from a flat page. This is what I do. I highlight, and that's the to me the best of all possible worlds is that you can read it and hear it at the same time. I think you remember it more. But here's today's reading: the 100% step. Only step one, where we made the 100% admission we are powerless over alcohol, can be practiced with absolute perfection. And this is from the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous, page 68. The little book, yeah, you can put it in your shirt pocket, in your back pocket. Uh, there are some meetings that use this book on a continuous basis to take readings from it. They go, if it's both, like 12 steps and 12 traditions, then they'll go through the whole book. If it's only 12 steps, you go through the 12 steps. And here's a commentary. Long before I was able to obtain sobriety in AA, I knew without a doubt that alcohol was killing me. Yet, even with this knowledge, I was unable to stop drinking. So, when faced with step one, I found it easy to admit I lacked the power to not drink. But was my life unmanageable? Never. 5 months after coming into AA, I was drinking again and wondered why. Later on, back in AA and smarting from my wounds, I learned that step one is the only step that can be taken 100%, and that the only way to take it is take 100% is to take 100% of the step. That was many 24 hours ago, and I haven't had to take step one again. And I know I always say this, but this reflects me totally. The words "I'm an alcoholic," I mean, I knew I was. I tried to find out a way to drink safely, but I was still an alcoholic. The words "I'm an alcoholic" slipped out of my mouth very easily. I wasn't one of those that sometimes you go to a meeting and people will speak or they'll introduce themselves and say, "Hi, I'm Joe." And then they'd start speaking. And usually, members would say, if they're going to say something, I would say, "Hi, I'm Joe. I'm an alcoholic. I think," and go on with my thought. Uh, and I said that very easily, but the implications of it, I did not believe, even at that point when I came in, and I maintained continuous sobriety, but I was fighting the idea that my life had become unmanageable. Look what I had done. I had risen to, I was the person in charge of IT at the bank on the third shift. And I had never got any warnings or anything. Fact was, my supervisor was an alcoholic like myself. And he covered for me, and I covered for him. And, and so, I thought my life was manageable, and it just wasn't. It just, and then I had that realization, and then everything seemed to fall in place like a puzzle. I knew without a doubt that alcoholism was killing me. Alcohol was killing me, and that's very true. Right after the blizzard of 1978, they call it the Great Blizzard. We got something like 40 something inches of snow in Rhode Island, and I was out of work for a week. The governor declared a state of emergency, and the whole state was shut down. You had to stay home. You definitely couldn't go into Providence, and that's where the bank headquarters were. And don't you know that just when they said we could go back to work, my appendix went. So I ended up in the hospital, and they kept you in the hospital for a couple of weeks. They wouldn't let you do anything. Uh, Kind of restricted access, and now they get you up and make sure you can walk, and you're not getting pneumonia, and they make you breathe. Well, when I saw the surgeon post surgery, he said, "Do you drink a lot?" And of course, I was in the lying mode. I hadn't been sober, I was still actively drinking. I said, "No, I hardly ever drink." He says, "Well, looks like you drink a lot. You've got a fatty liver." And that was the first time anybody that had been inside my body, and they weren't, it's not like there were a lot of people, he told me I had the fatty liver. And whenever anything happened, I would always deny it. So I knew that it was killing me. A fatty liver wasn't good. That could be the beginning of cirrhosis. I had to look it up then. Now I know it from my nursing knowledge. So, and I would just do crazy, stupid things that alcoholics would do. I had money. I'm not saying I'm rich, but I had enough to live on my own and do what I wanted to do and save money. I put it away as much as I could, and I drank. But back then, I forget what a case of beer was like. It was like $11, and that wasn't beyond my means. And as I isolated, I stopped going to bars where drinking beer was more expensive. Uh, but I wouldn't pay bills just because I didn't feel like it. Ah, the heck with them. Let them chase me. You know, getting working for a bank and getting bad credit is not a good thing. They're not quite back then. They weren't quite connected with the credit bureaus as they are today, and they probably would have talked to me about credit. But I had the money to pay the bills. I just didn't do it. I had them. I had the ability to pay my taxes. I did a simple form. But if I saw that it wasn't worth my effort. I didn't want to worry about getting a dollar back from the IRS. I wouldn't fill a form, and then I'd get a call. Where I was a small state, and they called me. You just cannot not pay your taxes. I said, why? I'm saving you money. You don't have to process it. And, stupid stuff like that that I would do. I admit I was younger, but it was more, the alcoholism. And so then I get late notices, and I have to, like, I don't want to get a fine, but I just want to be a jerk. So that I have to scramble and pay. And that, that's the kind of person I was. Nothing terrible, 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 but it reflected the craziness of my mind, the monkey mind that I had. I'm like a little imp, pushing people's buttons, trying to get them going. And um, yeah, that was me as an alcoholic. So I wish you all a safe and sober January 11th, and we shall see you tomorrow as we continue in step one. Boy, it brings back memories. So God bless.